abandoned song, anyone? I thought that would be a fitting way to begin this afternoon. Thank you all for being here as we gather to remember, to give thanks, to recall and recollect the time that we've spent with Taaz. On behalf of Taaz's family, we want to extend gratitude and thanks for all of you for taking time to join us this afternoon. Immediately following the service, we will have a reception. The accordion doors in the back will open. There is a plethora of goodies back there. We encourage you to continue to linger, to share your memories and your love for Taaz with one another, and to hold and support one another in this day. 'Tis a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, to hope, to dream, to be. And oh, to lose. A thing for fools, this. A holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me. Your laugh once lifted me. Your word was gift to me. To remember brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Friends, those words from Jewish Rabbi Chaim Stern draw us into the gift and the struggle of love. They remind us that love is indeed a holy thing, a human thing. And they remind us of the truth that love can also be a painful thing. For all that we love can be lost. But the truth is, our love is never lost. And so it is the love shared with Taaz, for Taaz, by Taaz, gathers us here this afternoon. And we gather not only in death's shadow, but also in love's lingering light, to remember, to grieve, to hold and be held, and to hold out hope for a love that would start to mend that which has been broken in us. And if not mend, to help us to hold it in a way that allows us to continue living and loving even when it can feel so burdensome to do so. So friends, I invite you to take a moment now and to rest your weary souls in the gift of love, a love that you shared with and for Taaz. Let us take a moment of silence. Amen. Friends, remembering that we are all, each and every one of us, precious children of God, let us take a few moments to recall with gratitude the life of Taaz Doherty. Taaz was born in Glendale, California on July 24th, 1991, to Patrick and Charles. After a brief stint in Minnesota, Taaz and Charles would eventually end up in Colorado, where Casey would become part of their lives and part of their family. Taaz would eventually become the proud and protective big brother to Jesse, Joey, and Jake. Taaz was a constant source of support and encouragement and joy for his brothers, his family, his friends. His humor grew out of that quick wit and humble willingness to be self-deprecating. He was a role model for his brothers, a role that he was glad and proud to fulfill. He taught them important lessons in life and reminded them to have fun and to live life to the fullest. He sought to instill in them something of that same strong independence that he had. And he relished helping them grow into responsible adults and took joy in journeying with them throughout their lives. And Taaz, as is no surprise, loved music. Of course, country and rap are not music, so don't ask. He was drawn to an eclectic mix of songs and sounds. He learned to play the guitar and enjoyed collecting guitars. He loved attending concerts and liked to have the volume up loud. He would often pop an impromptu quiz on family and friends about the name of a band or the title of a song that happened to be playing at any given moment. Taaz even dabbled a bit in composing his own songs. Taaz had a way about him that put others at ease. He was easy to talk to, and he invited others to connect with the deeper parts of themselves. He had a kind and generous spirit that made room and held room for those around him. He loved to see others happy and would work ceaselessly to bring out a smile or a laugh. He was always one to go the extra mile for others without question or reservation. He was a rock, a foundation, a solid support for many. When he wasn't picking out a tune on the guitar, he might be found tinkering, figuring, sorting something out, learning something new. He was an intelligent and inquisitive soul with a strong work ethic. He enjoyed video games and built his own gaming computer. And he applied himself to every job he held, often receiving recognition and promotions for the work that he was doing. In 2017, he purchased his first home and became the consummate DIYer. He applied himself to learning new skills, and everything had to be just right, just so, perfect, before it received his stamp of approval. It's a wonder how the teen, who maybe stretched the limits on what was permissible and acceptable in a messy room, came to be one who loved to have everything perfectly manicured. He took pride in keeping his home neat and tidy. And Taaz was indeed a trendsetter with his own unique sense of style. I apologize, I couldn't find any black 501s or Converse, but I did get black pants and black shoes. And there was, of course, no bowling shirt that was too outrageous to complete the ensemble. Taaz, of course, loved Duke the dog. He's being a good boy. And Duke the dog loved Taaz. Duke would about wag his tail off each time Taaz would come home. Taaz built Duke's doghouse, though Duke preferred to sleep in his favorite spot, which was right on top of Taaz. Taaz found joy and delight in training Duke. Taaz was a gift. Taaz is a gift. The light of his life, lighting up a room, will be missed. The support he offered, the smiles he brought, the care he gave will be missed. We'll miss watching him tackle his next challenge, learn the next new skill, and create something beautiful as a result. But the treasured gift of his love and our love for him continues to mingle in the memories and live on as we live in ways that honor and recall his life. His love lingers on when we remember to have fun, to work hard, to apply ourselves to learning new things, most importantly, to connect with others and kindness and generosity. Friends, having remembered Taaz, we give thanks for his life and for his love, the impact that they've made on us, and the ways that they will continue to live on in and through us. Let us gather ourselves in the familiar words of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Let us now rest our souls in the gift of song. now like to welcome up several friends and family members to speak. We'll start with Isaac, and move to Maddie, Todd, and then Joey.
I don't have to tell everyone here how remarkable or how unique Taaz was as a friend, as family, as a person. I can only imagine how deeply he impacted everyone's lives. He would probably be honored and embarrassed by how many people are here to remember him, but secretly pleased to know the scope of that impact. He always had a very unique sense of humor. He may have been a bit off-color at times, but in his opinions and humor, but that was just him. And at his core, I know he was a great person. Speaking as his friend, I cherished this and truly valued his friendship. He could always engage me in my weirdness, whether it be through debates over how to survive the end of the world, however it could happen, laughing at my weird jokes, giving insight into my creative endeavors, or enjoying our time playing video games together. I'll never forget one of our last times together where an impromptu joke about a video game character left him in stitches so hard he shed tears and we had to pause the game to compose ourselves. He was always a person I could rely on, be it helping hands for a construction project, in which he helped with many, or simply being a friend whose insight I could ask for whenever it was needed. He was always there for a late night call, be it something serious or just a vent. I know he desired to do something with music as his penultimate goal for his life, and I only wish I could have helped him along that path more. Playing music together was such an enlightening endeavor. He would play drums or guitar. He was so versed in different instruments. My goals led away from the musical arts over time, but he grounded me to the goals I had in the past, and I always dreamed of us creating songs together. I wish those songs could still be created with his input and creativity. I wish the world could have heard his songs. Music, in general, is lessened by his loss. I will never forget how he was always reliable. I will never forget how he was always willing to help. I wish his help was still available. He helped me through dark times and seemed like a person I could count on no matter what to see me through to brighter days. I'll miss his laughter. I'll miss his reliability. I'll miss his insights and the debates we had. Most of all, I'll miss him. I'd like to think he helped to push those around him towards each other, towards being better people themselves. The world is a diminished place without him in it. I only hope the next time we meet we'll be as good of friends as we were, and he as crazy good a person as he was.
I'm Maddie. I grew up with a Rose family, the Vietnamese family. In this room, there's a common love and loss. Today we empathize the love we have for Taaz, and by doing so, keep his journey alive and present. Please do not fear that his presence is gone, because he is within every strum of guitar, within every laugh and smile. We will see today as his journey, not that he is gone, because in our hearts, minds, and souls, he is with us today in this room and tomorrow wherever we go. And for every day after, he'll be with us in our laughter. We will keep our hearts open, warm, and welcoming as he did. We will live in the moment as he did, and forever tell stories as he did. His presence will be in every new song we hear that we put on repeat, because he led us to it. When the day starts out horrible, but some sort of magic happens, and a good interaction with a friend or family member happens, or maybe the weather's just right, or maybe the person in front of you at the drive-thru pays for your food, and your day changes from horrible to wonderful. That's him who led us to it. And today and every day we will honor Taaz for his journey, his presence, and what he leads us to next.
I only played country music one time when Taaz was in my car. I didn't know if he was having a rash or he was going to destroy my car, but one of the two things. My name's Todd. I worked with Taaz for 3 years. Moved from Dallas, Texas to Colorado. It was during the middle of COVID, and we're struggling on getting some people hired. And so I reached out to one of my peers, Michael. Michael knew I had an opening, and he said, hey, I got this guy. He'd be great for this job. So his name's Taaz. I said, great. I said, well, tell me about Taaz, because he's Casey's son. I'm like, oh, we got one of those? But, you know, the bottom line, I would call, after 23 years doing the same job with the same company, I think I got pretty good at doing what I was doing. But my answer was always, call Taaz. If you have a problem, call Taaz, he'll fix it. He was so smart, so brilliant, so humble. I mean, there's so many words I've heard up here, but, you know, humble would probably be the biggest one for Taaz. He did, whether it was a C-suite, an executive of a company, whether it was our entry-level person, call Taaz. He knows how to do it. He'll figure it out. I didn't know how to do it. Taaz knew how to do it. So, you know, it was kind of as we're driving down, it's kind of a joke in the car. It's like, yeah, call Taaz. We should have got shirts made. But he was so good at what he did. And he did it with dignity and just, again, just that humbleness in him. Just an incredible young man. He was, so I hired him as an FSR. We moved him up from, he was almost in Boulder. We should have bought the kid a helicopter. But he was almost in Boulder. We bring him down to the heart of downtown. He was what's called an FSR. And he had to go learn a lot of different sites, and he had to cover for people. And everybody always wanted Taaz. I mean, that was the biggest compliment you can get in that role. So he's entry level. He gets promoted to FSR. We promote him again. And this is all happening within a 2-year time span. So we promoted him from a senior OSS to an FSR. And now he's going to get promoted to a facilities coordinator. He's gonna manage the facilities of the site. And again, Taaz doesn't know how to do any of this. So who calls? Who do we call? Well, call Taaz. Let's still figure it out. So he's with me for maybe 2 years, and in the last year there became a great opportunity. And the way we manage things at RICO, there's area and there's enterprise. So area is kind of your small mom and pop accounts, and enterprise is there's 40 of them throughout the country. There's 40 different locations. And so I get a call from a peer of mine who's managing the enterprise side, and she's like, Todd, we need help. We need to find a person. I'm like, I got the guy for you. The second I said that, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose my Taaz. But it was a great opportunity for him. Taaz rolled into the position, and I think there's a book out front that you all need to read. Taaz oversaw 40 different accounts around the country. He taught, he trained, he supported, he was their guy, if you read this book. I think a couple of compliments that came out of the book that as I was reading through it, he was the best friend that I never met. He just had such a passion, such a heart. This big old guy that you think was, you know, getting off that Harley Davidson, but Taaz was a mama's boy. Loved teasing him left and right. But we had this entire floor to ourselves a majority of the time. Because I come up and say, Taaz, show me how to do this. You know, I'm supposed to be showing Taaz how to do things. I would chase him around with scissors. You know, I was going to cut that hair off. I'll never forget walking in one day and he'd actually shaved. You know, and he spoke of his mom, spoke of his brothers, he spoke of his dads. Just proud guy. The fixer-upper showed pictures left and right. Call Taaz. That Friday, I was having a horrible day at 3 o'clock. And I called Taaz. And I walked away thinking I was going to have the greatest weekend ever. I was in tears at probably 3:05 on that Friday because of your brother, because of your son. We're going to miss him, but I think the biggest thing that I saw and I read in here is he's with the Lord. And, you know, from a legacy standpoint, I hope everybody realizes that from Taz. I wore a shirt and tie today because I know that he's pissed. But I think that's, you know, when I walk out of here, just knowing that he's with the Lord, I'm going to see him another day. Great job, Mom, Dad.
I'd like to start off by reading a memory from one of Taz's closest and most beloved friends, Danny. Perhaps one of my most inspiring memories of Taz, which still come back to me often, is one of many nights spent gallivanting around the old town square in Fort Collins. Not necessarily getting into trouble, but always having fun. This early night, we had stopped at a fountain park next to the art museum, where the city had put an outdoor piano, one of fewer back then. Maybe Taz felt lucky running across one in the mood, or maybe he just felt like being grand. He sat down and started right in on the piano, accompanied from the Raccooners song, "You Don't Understand Me." It was beautiful and perfect. I still recall the notes ringing bright and punchy as he played them. Taz knew that that was one of my favorite songs on the album, and I hadn't known he could play so well until that night. It had started to rain, but he kept playing, pounding away on that piano. It may sound cliche, but he gave it the gravitas of Bach. Taz wound down the music, and we continued our fun, getting hosed as the fountains went off around us and covered the poor piano back up in the charming and somewhat unlucky spot for the night. I will keep this memory, along with many others, in my heart forever. Grand, intelligent, and self-determined. These are only a few words that describe who Taaz was and who he inspired us all to be. The melody and passion he played with on every instrument he touched was his way of speaking without words, his way of celebrating without a party, his way of grieving without tears. From playing the piano in the rain to rocking out on his guitar on a warm summer's night binge, Taaz let his passion for music express his feelings inside. Even in his lowest of lows, he found the light. He always knew how to say something to uplift those around him, whether it was a largely exaggerated story or a quick punchline of a joke. A true performer in his own right, Taaz taught me to be brave, to not let the fear of others' opinions steer me away from reaching my dreams. He once told me, "You may feel like or be told that you are too young or too experienced to be in the position that you are in right now in your life. Whether it's at work or in your life outside of work, but fake it until you make it. Fake it until you make it and never let up. You can strive to be whoever you want in this world, but at the end of the day, you and only you can decide who you want to become." My parting words to all of you here in memory of my brother is to cherish those around you and express your passions in life through your own instruments, musical or not. Let your aspirations drive you to create your own song. And most importantly, make life fun. This is what Taaz did, and this is what Taaz would want us all to do. At this time, I'd like to invite anyone else who would like to share a brief memory up to the stage.
Thank you everyone for coming. If you don't know me, I'm Taaz's youngest brother, Jake. My favorite memory with my brother actually happened this year. I came home from college unexpectedly to surprise my mom for her birthday. And thankfully Taaz was designated to pick me up from the airport. I was excited to have him pick me up because growing up I didn't get a lot of one-on-one time with him. So, having an hour just to hang out with him was something I really looked forward to. What I didn't expect was to get in the car and be told we had no gas left. So, while we both panicked, we still found time to conversate with each other. On this car ride, I've never felt so connected to my brother. We talk about music, obviously, but also just life in general. And we were both so engaged in the conversation that we ended up missing the turn of the gas station twice. And it started a good trend where we would both be so distracted in each other's company that we ended up missing almost every turn on the trip home, causing us to be an hour late for dinner. I'm going to miss you, Taaz. I'm going to miss you pulling me aside from family events to tell me how proud you were of me. I'm going to miss your quick jokes and sense of humor, and how much my music sucks, and especially the jokes about corn dogs. But most of all, I'm going to miss my brother. My best friend and my role model. Taaz,
So, if you don't know me, I'm one of Taaz's other younger brothers, Jesse. I don't know where to begin. It's all started from the beginning. I was born in December of 1997. The best family I could ever ask for. You're the greatest big bro I could have. Taaz protected me since the day I was born, and has always done so. I have two younger brothers, Jojo and Jake. As we grew older, we fought and laughed as brothers do. But no matter what happened, we always knew we loved each other. We hardly ever said that we loved each other, but we came up with a way of doing so by flipping each other off. Which, between all the brothers, it didn't really mean, F you or anything like that. But it meant that we love you without having to say it. I'm going to miss my big brother. I'm going to miss him making us laugh. Telling us how proud he was, or how jealous he was for achieving goals in our individual lives. I love you, big girl. And everyone here loves you too. Until we meet again, go have a beer and take a rest. I love you, Taaz. I'm gonna miss you so much.
I know most of you guys do not know me. 2 years ago, I was welcomed in by the family only part of my life for a short time, he made a huge impact in my life and encouraged me to grow as a person. During the time I grew to know Taaz, I created a bond of not only a best friend, but also a brother. He allowed me a safe space and a place without judgment. He welcomed me into his home with open arms. Almost every weekend, we would play Mario Kart or Mario Party, and each time I won a round, Taaz and his brother Joey would say that I cheated. But I never did. Taaz and I would pick on each other. He would call me Meg from Family Guy. I don't know where it came from. But we'd pick on each other like siblings. But we would also have those late night talks that we just talk about whatever came to mind. Sometimes it was aliens, sometimes it was the end of the world, and sometimes it was our successes. I would go to him for advice, especially when I was faced with many difficult decisions throughout college. He would always encourage me to be myself and put my needs first as I struggled to do so. Although I have many great memories to remember, I will always feel a great sadness that not only did I lose such an amazing person in my life, but so did his family. And I know we are all grieving, but I want the family to know how important you were to not only Taaz, but also how important you all are to me. I want you to listen to every note and every lyric of all songs you can. And listen to how the beautiful soul of Taaz speaks to us. Rest in peace, Taaz. We love you. Thank you.
One, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us in our moment of grief. It's been a challenge, and I'm not gonna go off the cuff and give a speech here. I wrote a letter to Taaz, so I'm gonna read it. And I'll try to read it as quick as I can, and then we can have intermission if we need to. Dear Taaz. Sorry. Dave gives me. By the way, I'm Taz's stepfather. He's been in his life since he was 5. In case nobody knew that. Today we gather to celebrate you, which I know you would love. For me, there is pure, deep, and unending love and pain, all rolled into one. Regardless of how our adventure began, you were my first boy. We met when you were 5, and the first years were tough as we got to know each other, but we found our great groove. As we talked about a number of times, you and I had a similar experience in life. Our parents divorced young, getting to know this new person in your life, and eventually growing to love each other. Your dad and I often laugh at how, your dad and I, Patrick is his father, used to laugh at how lucky Taaz was to have 2 dads. He was a spoiled kid. But none of that compares to what I experienced in the love you and your mom had for each other. This helped me learn to be a parent. It prepared me to be a better person in life and to get ready to father my own children. Thank you. As you grew, I was able to experience life through your eyes. Your love of music, your friendships, your love for your brothers, your dad and your mom. Your transformation from a boy to a man, a man I was proud to call mine. Thank you. We had great talks. You would express more and more of your feelings to me as the years went by. You would call me for advice and then promptly do the opposite. We would talk at work and laugh about Todd. Thanks, Beth. And discuss strategies. You always found a way to make me laugh, make me proud, and make me feel loved. Thank you. You were never an outcast from the family as much as you joked about it. Your brothers love you, look up to you, and admire you. You inspired them to live, to break away from your mom and me, the fuddy and the duddy, as you affectionately call them. Our 4 boys, all incredible men, with your help. Thank you. Your laugh at my jokes on a story was genuine, infectious, that it made me laugh at my own jokes. You were so passionate or personable with others. You showed me it was okay to be yourself. You were persistent in the pursuit of an answer, a straight cut, or the information you needed at the moment. Your passion was admirable to me. Thank you. You let me into your heart. You gave me love and encouragement. Our last conversation was to tell me that you were good, your brothers were good, and that Mom and I need to start living our own paths. You wanted us to travel and refocus on us instead of you all. Thank you. You always had one memory that would not let me off the hook about. You had one memory that you would never let me live down. You wouldn't let me off the hook about it. It was the green bucket. According to you, I was at fault for its loss, not watching it closer, and especially not diving in the river to chase it down. This was like 20, 25 years ago. Well, I'm making it up to him. I got him a green bucket. Thank me. In the end, son, my life was never the same when we met. And all the memories in between, we will share. You were my best man when I married your mom. You were my first son, and for all you gave me, my life will never be the same. For all that you brought me in life, thank you.
Friends, let us rest again in the gift of song, knowing that following the service, you are certainly invited to continue to gather and share stories and share memories.
You've heard some of the stories and some of the memories. Let's keep those memories alive. This is the gift of memory. God has given to us the gift of memory, that we might keep alive those we love. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys or special celebrations we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are a part of us.
Friends, as we prepare to depart, I would once again invite you to stay and linger, continue to share the memories and the love that we hold in our hearts, continue to hold one another and support one another in love and care. And as you do so, receive this blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the rain fall softly on your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand. Amen. I'll dismiss the family first and then dismiss the rest of you after they've had a chance to go and invite you to greet them. The accordion doors in the back of the sanctuary will open. You can go through there or through the doors you came